Hi there, this is Kevin Chang from Do Your Dream Work, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up this automation, which is whenever someone signs up for your course and becomes a new student, to take that new student's name and email address and put that onto your email list within your email marketing service. Now, at this point, some of you might say, wait a minute, Kevin, you trying to pull a fast one on me? I remember reading Thinkific's feature page, and Thinkific does have integrations with email marketing services. So what gives? Now, you know what? Thinkific does have integrations with email marketing services, but only if you're on one of its paid plans. So what if you want to try out Thinkific first? If you want to just go ahead and create and market a course, sign up some students for your first course, and see if you like Thinkific enough to use it long term as your online course platform. What if you want to try Thinkific for some time first for free? Well, if you're on Thinkific's free plan, you're out of luck in terms of having access to any of its integrations, including with email marketing services. Now, as you can see here, I'm in a Thinkific free plan, and in my account here, I'm trying to connect to an email marketing service, and I can't. Thinkific is saying here I need to upgrade to one of its paid plans in order to do that. Now, some of you might also be saying, all right, so Thinkific doesn't have integration with email marketing services on its free plan, but surely I can do this. I can just export my students' information in a spreadsheet format, let's say, and then manually import that information into my email marketing service. Certainly I can do that. Well, yes, you can. But again, only on one of Thinkific's pay plans. So if you're on Thinkific's free plan, again, you're out of luck. So here again, I'm on Thinkific's free plan and I'm in my account here trying to export my students' data. And Thinkific is again telling me I need to upgrade to one of its pay plans in order to do that. Alright now, as you probably guessed, I didn't make this whole video just to tell you that. There is a way to connect Thinkific to whichever email marketing service that you're using, even if you're on Thinkific's free plan, using a tool called Zapier. Now, Zapier is a very popular tool that many businesses use. It's an automation tool, and it's kind of an industry standard by this time. And if you're thinking, oh no, another tool, another thing that I'll have to learn how to use. Well, let me tell you, just like any tool, once you've learned how to do it and you practice a few times, you find that it's actually pretty easy to use. And most importantly, I'm going to show you step by step, every step of the way of how to connect Thinkific to your email marketing service so that you can get the name and email address of your newly signed up students onto your email list within your email marketing service, and all of this on Thinkific's free plan. Now, why would you want to get your newly signed up students' name and email address onto your email list? Well, for a whole host of very useful reasons. Maybe you want to tell them about a follow-on course that they should consider signing up for. Or maybe it's the second course in a series of courses and you want to tell them about the second course when they're almost finished with their first course. And there are times when you just want to check in on your students' progress in the current course that they're taking. In short, having your students' name and email address on your email list is so critical, because email is still the only way that you can be sure that you can get a hold of your students. People are busy nowadays, but no matter how busy people are, they will still check their email. So again, you want your students on your email list, and in this video, I'll show you how to do that when you're on Thinkific's free plan, step by step, using this tool called Zapier. I'm Kevin Chang from Do Your Dream Work. Now let's dive right into it. So the first step in this entire process is to make two small changes or edits to your course welcome email in Thinkific. Now, your course welcome email, as you can imagine, is the email that Thinkific automatically sends out to anyone who signs up for your course. Alright, I'm right at my Thinkific main dashboard, and to follow along, you want to get to your Thinkific main dashboard, which is the screen you see right after you sign into your Thinkific account. And to get to your course welcome emails, all you have to do is to choose the support your students main menu item from the left sidebar main menu here. And underneath that, you want to click on notifications, and that will bring you to the notification screen. And from here, you want to just scroll down a few sections, scroll past the course completion email section, and you get to the course welcome email section. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here so that possibly the text on the screen here will be a little easier for you to see. Now in this course welcome email section, all you have to do is click on this edit button here to the right to go in and make these two very simple edits to your course welcome email. So that's what we'll do. And the first edit that we want to make is to enter an email address for this CC field. Now, a welcome email is going to, of course, be sent to each newly signed up student for your course, but you also want a copy of that welcome email to be sent to this email address that you're going to enter here. Now, one of the key points with this email address is that it needs to only receive your course welcome emails and not other kinds of emails. And the reason for this is that in one of our next steps, I'm going to be showing you how to use this automation tool, Zapier, as I mentioned before. And we're going to specifically be using this email parser tool within Zapier. And I'm going to be showing you how to essentially teach or train this email parser tool to pick out the email address of your newly signed up students from your course welcome emails and put that email address into the email list within your email marketing service. But for this tool to accurately pick out your newly signed up student's email address every single time, you need to have the email address that you put into this CC field right here to be an email address that's dedicated to just receiving your course welcome emails and nothing else. If another kind of email other than your course welcome emails gets into this email address, the tool will still try to pick out an email address corresponding to your new student from this email, but it will most likely pick out the wrong info because this isn't your course welcome email, and it will put this wrong info onto your email list within your email marketing service, and you certainly don't want that. So what you want to do here is to create a new email address just for this purpose, say within Gmail. All right, after you've created your new email address, just type it into this CC field here. And then I've named mine new.student.notify@gmail.com. Just hit enter. And you've just made the first edit to your course welcome email. Now, making the second edit to this email is even simpler. All you need to do is scroll down to the email body right here. And all you need to do is just add a single sentence and a variable. So all you need to do is just place your cursor right here next to this course underscore link here, and you want to hit enter, and then all you do is just add in this very simple sentence. And here what you're saying to your students is just for your future reference, just so you know, you signed up for this course just now with this email address. Now make sure that you hit enter right here at the end of this sentence so you get a new line. So you'll be pasting in the email address that they just used to sign up for your course on this new line. And this has to do again with the email parser tool that I just told you about. The email parser tool works best when you put the information that you want it to pick out for you on a new line by itself instead of, say, as part of another sentence. So make sure you put a new line here, just hit return, and now we're going to go and get this email address of your newly signed up student and paste it right here. And for that, we're just going to scroll down below the email body. Here, Thinkific gives you a set of variables. You can think of them as labels that capture certain information about your newly signed up student. And in this case, in this variable section, all you want to do is just copy this variable called user underscore email with the two curly braces and come up and just paste it in this, and you have an open line here. You just paste that in. Now make sure that you come up to the top right corner of this screen and hit save. And now you've just finished making the two simple edits in step 1. And as simple as step 1 is, it's a crucial step that allows all the other steps to do what they're supposed to do. So now you've done it. So now let's move on to step 2 of this process. In step 2, is train the email parser tool and confirm that it correctly picked out your new student's info from the course welcome email that we just finished editing in step 1. And in this case, your new student's info is going to consist of two things. One, the email address that your new student just used to sign up for your course, and two, your new student's first name. Now, since the email parser tool is a tool provided by Zapier, and we're going to be using Zapier, the main tool, in steps 3 and 4 coming up. So let's go ahead and sign up for a Zapier account here, and then we can go ahead and use its email parser tool in this step. Now, as you can imagine, you can get to Zapier at zapier.com. Once you get to zapier.com, you'll be able to sign up for Zapier using your Google account, your Facebook account, or just using your email. I'm going to sign up here using my email address. Enter your password here. Now here it's going to ask you what your role is within your business and so on. You can answer that if you like, but I'm going to skip it here. And this brings us right to our Zapier main account dashboard. Now I just want to make a quick note here that when you sign up for Zapier, like we just did, you're automatically put on a 14-day free trial of their professional plan, which is a pay level plan. And here's a plan comparison page that you can find on Zapier's website. There are 5 plans, but Zapier absolutely has a free plan. If you look all the way to the left here, they have a free plan, and it's a plan that you can stay on if you're on a budget or for whatever reason you don't want to spend money using Zapier just yet. Now, after 14 days, all the features that are just available on Zapier's professional plan, this plan in the middle of the page right here, those will go away after 14 days, and you'll be put on Zapier's free plan. And now the important point I want to make here is that everything that I'm showing you how to do using Zapier can be done on their free plan. So there's no need for you to upgrade after 14 days if you don't want to. So I just want to make that clear right now. All right, with all that said, let's get right to the email parser tool to do what we need to do with it within this step. And to do that, you want to navigate to parser.zapier.com, or you can Google email parser by Zapier. In either case, you end up on this page, and what you want to do is to click the login button in the middle of the page. And this page will give you the option of logging in using your Zapier account. And so you want to do that, just click that. And here, the screen is asking to connect email parser to your Zapier account, and you want to click authorize. And we're right here at the dashboard of email parser. Now, the way the email parser works is that we're going to be sending the course welcome email that we edited in step 1 twice to the email parser tool here. Now, the first time we send the course welcome email to email parser, we're going to be teaching email parser to correctly pick out the email address of your new student as well as your new student's first name from that email. And then we're going to send that same email, the same course welcome email, a second time to email parser. And this time we're going to be testing whether or not it's extracted those two pieces of info correctly. So right now we're going to send the course welcome email the first time to email parser. And in order to do that, we need to set up a mailbox to receive that email. So now what we want to do is just click on this bright orange red big button here that says create mailbox at the top right corner here. And now it's going to have an email address that we can just copy. And I'll tell you where to paste this in a second. Now, remember the new email address that we created in step 1 in Gmail. That's for the sole purpose of receiving the course welcome email that Thinkific sends out every time a new student signs up for your course. And if you remember, I named it new.student.notify@gmail.com, and we enter that email address in this CC field here in Thinkific. Well, we want to go to that email address's inbox right now. So what we want to do is to send the course welcome email to the email parser tool from this email address. So what we want to do is just write an email, and in the to field, we're going to paste the email parser email address that we just set up in email parser. We're going to paste that here. So now what will go in the body of this email is the actual course welcome email that we edited in step 1 within Thinkific. Now, unfortunately, there's no way to send a test email from the course welcome email page where we edited this email earlier. There's no way to send a test email just from this page. So what we'll do to simulate this scenario is just to copy and paste the body of this email from Thinkific to new.student.notify@gmail.com. Now, all this is just copying and pasting. Now, for some reason, copying more than one line doesn't really work here. So you want to copy line by line in this email. Now, luckily, there aren't that many lines in this email. So luckily, this shouldn't take a long time to do. And when you're done copying and pasting into the blank email that we're setting up here in this email address, it should look something like this, the body of the email. And basically, this is the course welcome email that we saw in Thinkific. We're just recreating it here just by copying and pasting. And we also want to copy and paste the email subject line as well. So there it is. Now, before we're ready to send this email to the email parser email address in Zapier, we want to make 2 small changes here. First, we want to just type in a first name. We're just simulating this scenario, so we can type in just any first name. I'm just going to type in John. Okay, we just want a name in this space. And similarly, this user email in the curly braces, we want to replace that with just any valid email address. It really doesn't matter what this email address is, as long as it's a valid email address, because what we want to do is just to teach the email parser to pick out this text that's in this location, specifically between this sentence here and the end of the email, this text here. We just want to make sure that it knows to grab this text here, which is going to be the email address of our new student. So just type in any valid email address here, and now we're ready to send this email to the email parser, and we're just going to hit send right here. So all right, we're back in the email parser's main dashboard, and now it just received that email that we just sent. And before we go and train the email parser to correctly pick out our 2 pieces of data, first, let's name this email address in email parser to a name that we'll remember, rather than this bunch of random text characters here. I'm just going to call it new student notify 02. All right, so now we're ready to train this email parser to correctly pick out our 2 pieces of data. Well, all you have to do here in order to train or teach the email parser what to look for is that here's the body of the email, and in this area where it says initial template, this is by template. What this means is just that this is where you're going to highlight the text that you want the email parser to pick out. And so within here, what you want to do is to pick out the email address of your newly signed up student. And that is going to be right here after the sentence here that says for your future reference. Again, this is the sentence that we added to the course welcome email in step 1. So what we want to do is carefully highlight just that text That is the email address of your new student, and that's it right there. And a box pops right up as we're highlighting. And what we want to do here is to give this a label, a name, so that it's a generic name that will capture all the email addresses of all your newly signed up students. And we're just going to call this student email. So this is just a label name for the kind of information that this label represents, which in this case is your student's email address. All right, so we typed in student email, hit save. And similarly, for the student's first name, it's going to be welcome. It's going to be the word right after welcome. And we again highlight that. All right, this box pops up again. And in this case, we want to name the label first name. Hit save. And now you see the labels for the two pieces of info that we want the email parser to pick out. That's been highlighted in yellow color. So you know these are the two pieces of info and their locations within this email. And now highlighting these two pieces of info, that really is all there is to it in terms of training the email parser. So we really have done it. Now the only thing we want to do here though is to hit save. So down here toward the bottom left corner, it says save address and template in the blue button. We want to click that. And so that's it. We've now finished training the email parser, and we're now going to send this same course welcome email a second time to email parser. And this time we're going to check that it's done this extraction of these two pieces of data correctly. All right, so we're going to go back to our new.student.notify@gmail.com address, and we're now going to send this same email a second time. All right, here's the email that we sent the first time. Now we're going to do a forward, but there are a few things you want to note when you do the forwarding of this email. First of all, you want to use the renamed email address, which is new student notify 02. All right, next what we want to do is actually remove this top part of this message because we're forwarding it. It will say forwarded message. So we actually want to remove that. We don't want to have extra information that might confuse the email parser. So we want to remove that, just cut that out. And we want to bring the main email body text upward. And everything else is fine. Now there is just one other thing that we want to adjust here, and that's the email subject line. Again, we want to make sure that this email that we're sending out the second time is exactly the same as the one we sent out the first time. So we want to just remove this forward colon part of the email subject line. All right, so now that we've done that, this email is exactly the same one that we sent the first time. So now we're ready to send this the second time. All right, now we head back to email parser, and we hit view email, and here it is. This is the email we just sent the second time to verify that email parser is picking out the data correctly. And you can see that it is, all right, because it's highlighting John. It's highlighting the places that it extracted. So if you hover over John here in the yellow, it will say it will show you the label, which is first name, which is correct. And if you hover over this highlighted yellow region, this text, and it will say student email. So, and you can see clearly that it extracted these two pieces of info correctly. And another way you can tell is that if you come down to the bottom, there are actually 4 versions of this email that is just finished extracting that you can look at the data to verify that it's done this correctly. So the fourth one, the first one by default is called extracted. This is the one we're looking at here with the extracted data in yellow highlight. Now we can also go to the fourth one all the way to the right here. It's called output. Click on that. And this will show us just the pieces of info that email parser just finished extracting. And it's very simply and nicely displayed here. First name, which is the label name, and what it's extracted is John. and student email, and what it's extracted is this email address that I put in there. So we now have verified that these are the only two pieces of data that it's extracted, and they are the correct ones. All right, so now once we verify that the email parser correctly picked out the email address and the first name of your newly signed up student, now it's time to move on to steps 3 and 4, which is going to really pass this data onto the email list within your email marketing service. All right, so to set up the trigger part of this Zap or automated workflow, we're here on the main dashboard page of Zapier. Now, this is a page that we were on right after we signed up for our Zapier account at the beginning of step 2. So to do step 3, which is setting up the trigger part of our Zap, we want to go to this bold colored red-orange button here that says Make a Zap towards the top right corner of the main dashboard page. I'm going to click that. So here, Zapier is asking us to choose an app and event. And what this means is that you want to tell Zapier, as I said earlier, which app is the trigger going to occur in, and then what is the trigger event. Now, there's a search field right here. And if you don't see in the apps listed below this search field your trigger app, then you can type in to search for your trigger app. But here we already see our trigger app, which is Email Parser by Zapier. We'll just select that. All right, so we've already chosen our app, Email Parser by Zapier. And now it's asking us to choose our trigger event. And here we want to choose New Email. Now, this new email is basically a copy of the course welcome email that Thinkific originally sends out to your newly signed up student. So this trigger event, new email, represents or is the trigger for your Zap. And then what you want to do is hit continue. Now here, you're asked to sign in to Email Parser. And this is fine, so just go ahead and click that. All right, and here the message here is Zapier would like to access your data with the following permissions, which means Zapier would like to be able to have access to that copy of your course welcome email, as well as the two pieces of info, the email address and first name of your new student that the email parser has picked out from that email. And you do want Zapier to have access to that, so you want to just click authorize here. All right, and then hit continue again. And here under customize email, it's asking you for the mailbox that you used that we set up in our email parser tool to receive that copy of your course welcome email. And if you remember, that always ends in at robot.zapier.com, and we only set up one, and this is the one, new student notified 02 at robot.zapier.com. So we just click that. And once we have this set up, again, click continue. Now where it says find data here, and toward the bottom left corner of this page here, it says test and review, this button here. We do want to go ahead and click this test and review. Now what find data, the data, what that's referring to are, again, the two pieces of data, the email address and first name of your new student. Right now, it's going to find those two pieces of data and show it to you to make sure that it is the right ones. So we do want to click test and review here. All right, it went to the email parser mailbox that we specified above, and it grabbed an email. And this email should be the course welcome email that we sent it earlier, all right, in step 2. So we're going to click this open, and sure enough, you can recognize that it says it grabbed it from our email parser mailbox, and it has the email subject line of you are now enrolled in course name and welcome, whichever the first name of the student is, and that's all there, as well as the student email. Those are the two pieces of data. All right, and very importantly, you want to scroll down to where it says parse colon, then underneath that output colon, all right? Because the parse output, what that means is simply what pieces of data that the email parser has picked out, has extracted from your course welcome email. So again, this is for the purpose of verifying that they are the right ones to pass along to your email marketing service. So again, you can easily verify that they are the correct ones. All right, first name, John, student email. And so checking the parse output is really the important part of this. And now that we've clearly verified, we can clearly see that these two pieces of data are correct. We're good to go. And we can now go on to the next step, which is to set up the action part of this Zap. Now, to finish with this step here, what you want to do is scroll down to where it says done editing in blue. I'm going to click that. And now, if you can see here, Zapier clearly shows you that the first rectangle here, that represents the trigger part of this Zap. We've just finished setting it up. And so that's step 3. And now we're ready to move on right on to step 4, which is this bottom rectangle here, which is the action part. And all we want to do here to start setting it up is to click on the edit button to the right of this bottom rectangle here. And very similar to setting up the trigger part, it's going to ask us what is our action app, the app that we want to perform this action. All right. And in this case, it's going to be whichever email marketing service that you're using. All right. I'm going to show you how to do this for MailChimp and for ConvertKit. Now, if you happen to be using another email marketing service other than these two, no worries. As I said earlier, there are many, many, many other email marketing services out there. And as long as you can find that email marketing service here within Zapier, you can set it up similarly as the action part of your Zap and add your new student to your email list at that email marketing service. And the details of how you do that is very similar amongst the different email marketing services in terms of setting this up within Zapier. All right, then. So let's start setting this up for MailChimp. So we're going to type this into the search field. And here it is right there. Click on it. And just like when we're setting up the trigger app and event, it's going to ask us, all right, now that we've given MailChimp as the action app, then what specific action should MailChimp take? Do we want MailChimp to take? And what we want to do is to have MailChimp add in or update subscriber. All right, this first action here. And what this means is just that if this email subscriber doesn't already exist, then you want to add this new student to your email list as a new email subscriber. But if this person already exists on your email list, then you want to update that person's info with any other new info that you've gotten from the fact that this student just signed up as a new student for your course. So you want to choose add/update subscriber as the action event and then click continue. Now it's going to ask to sign into your MailChimp account. All right, so we do it. And similar to how we needed to sign into email parser earlier, it's going to ask us to actually sign into our MailChimp account. All right, and again, click continue. And here, this is going to be what is used inside your MailChimp account. And in my MailChimp account, I have only one audience. And when you click on this drop down, it will show me which one it is. It's this one right here. And now I just want to point out that what we just did is important because audience in MailChimp refers to the specific email list that I want to put my new students' info onto. So when I chose this audience in this field here, what I've chosen is the email list I want to add the new student onto. So similarly, you can choose whichever email list, and you very well might have one intended to put your newly signed up students onto. So then now the next field is probably the most important field, which is to put your new student's email address into this field here that says subscriber email. That's the whole point of adding them onto your email list. So what you want to do here is then to click on this drop down, and this drop down is going to have all the info from that course welcome email that you've allowed Zapier to get access to before when you sign into email parser. And the way to find your newly signed up student's email address from all of this information is to look for the term beginning with parse output. Again, this is the output of the email parser, which means those two pieces of info that email parser has picked out. And so here, what you see here, the very first information field is parse output, but this is the first name. Now we're going to be using this in a second, but right now, this field that is asking us for is the subscriber email, is the email address. So we're going to keep scrolling down this drop down here until we get to the next parse output. So since we know that the field beginning with the words parse output is what we want to look for, we can ignore everything else here. And here it is. This is the next instance of parse output student email, and this is what we want. And we check, and this is the email that I entered into the course welcome email earlier in this video. So we want to click this, and immediately it will populate that subscriber email field with this, and this is the correct info that we want to send to MailChimp. Then here, these are fields that we can ignore for now. If you do use this, you can come back to it and choose these options if you like. But for now, I'm going to just ignore all of this. Now we come to first name, and this is the other parse output. So again, to the right here, we want to click this drop down. And this time we choose the first parse output that we saw earlier, which is first name. And there it is. And this is all that, these are the two pieces of data that we want to add to our email list. So we're done here now. And we can scroll all the way down and hit continue. All right. And just like when we set up the trigger part of this Zap, it will ask us to test and review. And what this will test and review now, you're actually going to now add these pieces of info, the email address for your new student, as well as your new student's first name. It's going to actually add that as a contact into your email list in MailChimp. But right before we do, let's take a look at what my MailChimp list looks like right now. So here is my list, and it has a grand total, 1 contact, 1 subscriber, and it's just me. And by default, it puts the owner of the list as the first subscriber. So there's no one else other than me right now. All right, this is me right here. So let's go and test and review, and it should put John as the second subscriber, as a new subscriber onto this list. All right, so we're going to test and review. All right, and it's done doing that. And it says test was successful. A test subscriber was sent to MailChimp in about 9 seconds ago. And then it says we created a subscriber. We were able to create a subscriber in your MailChimp account. So let's take a look. All right, let me refresh this. Okay, and we see here that John at John Smith, and this is the email that I added to the course welcome email. So John has been added. He's subscribed, and the method of subscribing is via Zapier. So right here it indicates that, and we added it at the right time and so on. And let's go into John's record here. And it shows us that John was added via Zapier at this time, just now. And we see that John, and this is the email address I've used in the course welcome email, and that's it. So now we've verified that the Zap has worked in terms of taking the email address of our new student as well as this new student's first name and putting those two pieces of info as a new subscriber onto our email list in MailChimp. And now I'm going to do the same for a ConvertKit account that I have. All right, for adding your new student's info onto your ConvertKit email list, the process is very similar as you can imagine. In fact, the trigger app part of your Zap or your automated workflow here in Zapier is exactly the same. So we're here on our Zapier main dashboard page. And since the trigger part of your Zap is going to be the same, there's no sense in reinventing the wheel to make an entire new Zap from scratch. So we're going to just copy the Zap for MailChimp, make a copy of it, and we're going to go into edit this Zap. And all we need to edit is, of course, just the action part of the Zap. Now first, let's come up to the top left corner here and rename this Zap. So I just changed MailChimp to ConvertKit. And now what you want to do here first is actually to remove the action part of this Zap here, where the action app is MailChimp. We want to remove this part and actually build a new one for ConvertKit. All right, now we delete it and we click on this plus button here. And the search box here, we want to search for ConvertKit. And there it is. And the steps are the same as for MailChimp. So I'm going to just go through this. ConvertKit is chosen as our action app. And for our action event, we're going to click this drop down and we're going to choose Add Subscriber to Sequence. And again, we hit continue. Sign into our ConvertKit account. And for each tool, there are some slight differences as to how access is granted. Here, they're asking for your API key in your ConvertKit account. So I'm going to go grab mine. So here I'm in my ConvertKit account, and under account info, I'm going to just copy the API secret. That's the field that's the info that I'll need to paste into that field. Hit continue. All right, and continue again. Same as what we've done with MailChimp. And here for sequence, I'm going to choose this welcome to course sequence that I've set up. And for email, again, it's going to grab your new student's email address. And again, from the drop down, we want to look for parse output, as we did with when we set up for MailChimp. And there it is, parse output student email. Click on that. And also first name, drop down. And parse output first name is the first item. Select that. And again, we have the same two pieces of info, email and first name. And we hit continue again. And we can test and review. And before we do, again, I want to show you how many subscribers I have here. Now, I actually don't use ConvertKit. I'm showing you this because I know a lot of folks do use ConvertKit. And so I want to show you how to add ConvertKit as an action app in the Zap. Now I have a grand total of 0 subscribers. So we're going to put a subscriber here via this test right now. We're going to test and review. And it says test was successful. A test subscriber to a sequence was sent to ConvertKit in about a second ago. We created a subscribe to sequence. We were able to create a subscribe to sequence in your ConvertKit account. All right, that all sounds good. Let's take a look in our subscribers list in ConvertKit, in my ConvertKit account. All right, I'm in my ConvertKit account, and under subscribers, I see that I just added, here's a graph of this one single subscriber that I just added. And we have a total of 1 subscriber, total new subscribers 1. And here we see that a new subscriber record for John has been created. Email address, first name. We click into it. And there's not a lot of new information other than that, but we see that a record for John, his email address, his first name. And so we've now confirmed that the Zap that we just built for adding our new students' info into our ConvertKit account has worked. So the last thing I want to show you in this video is how the entire process of taking the info from your newly signed up students and putting that info, adding that newly signed up student onto your email list as a new contact within your email marketing service, how that process, once everything is automated and connected, looks like. So far, I've tested each element in each of the steps 1 through 4 by itself and make sure that each element works. Now I'm going to connect all 4 steps and have data flow through in a totally automated way so that you can see that, as promised, this process, once you've implemented it, as I've shown you in this video, will take your newly signed up student and add this person onto your email list in a totally automated way. Now I'm going to show you this with a tester account that I've set up. So essentially, I'm going to pretend I'm someone else signing up for one of my own courses. I'm actually going to pay for it, and so show it to you for real that this tester persona gets added to my email list in both my MailChimp and ConvertKit accounts once I've signed up and purchased this course. All right, so first what I'm going to do here is to turn each of these zaps on. There's a toggle switch, as you can see, on each one of these zaps here on this page, and all you have to do is just make sure that they're in the off position right now, and you just want to click to make sure you turn it on. And you can see that it turns green after you turn it on. So now we're ready for me to sign up with my tester persona and show you how this whole automated workflow looks like. Now my tester persona that I'm going to use is called James Jones. Now I was feeling really creative, as you can see, when I set up this account. And the email that James has is jamesjonessongwriter@gmail.com. So now I'm going to go in as James to sign up for my own course. When this gets put onto my email list in both MailChimp and ConvertKit, look for the first name of James and this email address. And the last thing I'm going to do before I do this test is to show you the email subscribers that are on my email list right now. Now, on my MailChimp list is what you're looking at right now. There are 2 subscribers. One is me. By default, I'm on the list. And the other is John Smith that I used for showing the steps 1 through 4 earlier. I'm going to put James on here, so James is not on here. And on my ConvertKit list, I have a grand total of 0. This is a new account that I set up just for this test, and there are no subscribers so far. So I'm going to put James on this list. So now that you've seen that James is not on either of my email lists, let's have James buy my course and put him on my email lists. Right now, I'm on my courses sales page, and as you can see, this is a test course that I've set up, and it's for sale for $1, and I'm going to go in as James to purchase this course, and I'm going to click the buy button here, and I'm going to fill in James's info to set up this new account. All right, then click sign up, and it's grand total of $1. I'm going to complete the purchase for James right here. All right, we got the automated thank you message from Thinkific. All right, first we'll look at the email address that Thinkific is supposed to have CC'd the course welcome email to, and here it is. And we see that this email that James got also arrived here at this mailbox, and this is a familiar welcome James, and below there's James' email address, and the email parser should have by now extracted these 2 pieces of data. So we're going to go right actually to the email lists that I have in MailChimp and ConvertKit, because by this point it really should have already gotten there. So first I'm going to check my MailChimp account, view contacts. All right, and at this point we see that James Jones songwriter@gmail.com has just been subscribed, and the source is Zapier. And if we click in here for James first name added via Zapier just now, and there's no real other data. Here's James's email address, jamesjonessongwriter@gmail.com. So this automated process has just completed adding to my email list in MailChimp. All right, now let's go and check that James is also put on our ConvertKit account. Click on subscribers, and there it is. ConvertKit shows you a graph, and you can see this spike here in green color. And I'm not sure that you can read this, but there's a pop-up as I hover over the green spike here that says 1 new subscriber, 1 net new subscriber, and I'm going to scroll down, 1 total subscriber, 1 new subscriber, and scroll down some more, and there is James first name and James Jones songwriter at gmail.com confirmed. I'm going to click in here, and as we can see, we have James first name James and James Jones songwriter at gmail.com. So the record for James as a new subscriber has been added to my ConvertKit account as well. And so this automated process, the entire automated workflow, I've just shown that it works once you have implemented, as I've shown you earlier from steps 1 through 4 in this video. All right, then, to sum up again, in this video, I've shown you how to set up the process to, in an automated way, add any newly signed up students for your course onto your email list within your email marketing service when you're on Thinkific's free plan. So completely for free, being able to do that using this tool called Zapier. All right, if you found any of this info helpful, be sure to subscribe to my channel. All you have to do is hit the red subscribe button right below this video, and that way you won't miss any of my videos on this channel where I go over all aspects of how to grow your income by creating and selling online courses. And lastly, if you have any questions about any of the info I went over in this video, by all means, ask any questions that you have in the comment section right below this video, and I'll do my best to answer any of all your questions about this. Remember, I want you to succeed. I want you to be able to really create and get your course out there and get your first course sales or increase your course sales. So again, if you have any questions, be sure to ask them in the comment section below this video. All right, all my best for your online course success. You can do it. You take care now. I'll see you in the next video.